What's going on, Viking fans? It's Mitchell Renz from Chat Sports, and coming up here on today's show, we're going to be looking at some Vikings draft targets in the first round of the 2022 NFL Draft. Now, obviously, I would like to be able to sit up here and say, oh, this guy's available, this guy's available. That's not quite how it's going to work, considering the fact that Minnesota has the number 12 overall pick. Now, sure, you're going to see once in a while some players slide down to that 12 spot, or maybe even a little bit further than that. So what I'm going to try to do here is give you guys a realistic top few players that I do think the Vikings should go out and get. The ways that I ended up breaking some of these down were overall based on team needs. I like what the Vikings have going for them on offense and on defense in terms of some solid players. And what you see right now is just the overall draft picks that the Vikings have. So you got your first, your second, your third, no fourth round pick this year. Round 5, 3 sixth-round picks. And then you round it out with the final round 7. Now, I should mention this. The picks after the third round, they still are yet to be locked and loaded because of all the compensatory picks that will end up coming after the NFL or after the Super Bowl. But for the most part, in your first 3 rounds, those are locked and loaded. As it stands right now, I would say personally, these are your biggest draft needs. They can obviously change in free agency. Maybe the Vikings decide to go out and make a big-time trade. That does switch up a few things. But as it stands right now, and this is not ranked in any particular order, just 5 team needs: cornerback, edge rusher, QB, linebacker, and safety. So now's your opportunity to go down to the comments section and let me know what you're thinking. I know there's a lot of YouTube channels out there. I know there's a lot of Vikings YouTube channels out there, but not many do what Chat Sports does, which is about providing you guys content, but then also giving you the ability to have a lot of power in our shows. So I'm going to be looking down in the comments. I want you to name a player you want the Vikings to draft at pick number 12. So what I'm going to do now is first I'm going to start at the cornerback position, and then I'll work my way through some other ones. I like Derek Stingley Jr. I've actually seen him go top 5 in some mocks, the cornerback out of LSU. I've also seen some downside as well, but he is the number 1 corner in this year's draft. Coming in here at number 2, Ahmad Sauce Gardner. This guy's an absolute lockdown corner, probably one of my favorite prospects in this year's draft. One of the reasons why corner is such a big need, well, Jeff Gladney, Patrick Peterson, you let go of Breland as well. At number 3, Andrew Booth Jr. I really think that this kid is going to be sneaky good. He allowed only 1 catch over 20 yards at his time at Clemson this past season. I know Clemson was not as good as what they normally were, but I personally believe if Clemson would have had an offense, Booth Jr. would have gotten a lot more notoriety, and for that reason, he's actually fallen down boards a little bit. At number 4, it's going to be Kaiir Elam, who I always say on my shows, don't judge the jersey, don't judge the helmet, judge the player. However, and I laugh to myself because a lot of these Florida cornerbacks in recent years that have gone in the first round have not quite panned out. This guy's long, he's lanky, he's everything that a lot of people that watch Vikings football would love to go out and get. However, if any of those 3 other players are on the board and you absolutely need a corner, then you go with that. I honestly think, though, at pick number 12, the only 2 dudes that I would take would be Stingley or Sauce Gardner. Now, I don't know about y'all, but it is cold in Minnesota, and I know that for a fact. Heck, it's cold right now in Dallas, Texas. And if you're looking to stay warm, well, we got some awesome Vikings hoodies for you. Go to chatsports.com/Vikings hoodie. If for whatever reason you can't remember that link, or if you don't know how to spell it, I'm actually going to be nice enough to put it in the comments. It's also going to be in the description of today's video. But we got tons and tons of Minnesota Vikings hoodies for men, for women, for children. Whatever you need, we got you covered. So go ahead, check them all out, because the limited time only kind of stuff, because I'm telling you right now, if we show something, it usually ends up getting sold pretty quick. So chatsports.com/Vikings hoodie. Let's now go to the edge rushers here. I got 3 names that go ahead and keep in mind. David Ojabo. The more and more I watch this young man, the better and better he gets. He has not been playing football for all that long. In fact, his parents watched him play for the very first time when Michigan took down Ohio State this year. I really, truly believe 2-3 years from now, he could actually be one of the better edge rushers in the league. Let's go to George Karlaftis. And I get it. He's from Purdue. He only had 4.5 sacks this season, and a lot of people are going to look at those numbers and be like, wow, why would you take him at 12? it's because he got double, triple team because he was playing at Purdue, and a lot of the other guys really weren't all that great. I will say his upside to me, though, is a little bit limited. Let's go to Travon Walker out of Georgia, another really solid edge rusher. You're going to see more Georgia players here because guess what? That's what happens when you win the Natty. He's a tough-nosed dude that I think would fit really well under this defense, though taking him at number 12 might be a little bit too high considering some of the other players that could be on the board. To make sure you guys never miss anything going on around the Minnesota Vikings, especially in the offseason. The offseason is the most important time of the year. If there's breaking news around trades, free agencies, if you want more draft videos, we're going to be the most reliable YouTube channel around all of that. So hit that sub button, turn on those notifications, and let's keep growing this channel because the more subs we get, the more videos we're allowed to make. To the quarterback position, because you got Kenny Pickett, the #1 overall quarterback, at least I think so. If you're looking for somebody who can replace Kirk Cousins, this is going to be your guy to do it. At number 2, Matt Corral. Really love his upside, love his arm strength, love his overall ability. Really solid player. At number 3, Malik Willis. Malik Willis absolutely has been tearing it up this week from everything that I hear from the Shrine Game, Senior Bowl, all that kind of good stuff. I actually truly believe he might have the highest upside. His running ability, his arm strength, it's all there. What if you want to stick here on the defensive side of the football? You can go with a linebacker like Devin Lloyd. Now, Lloyd is going to be battling with the next guy I talk about in terms of the top linebacking prospect. But he can pass rush, he can tackle, he can cover. He's got a good shot at being the first linebacker picked this year. His 3-down ability is why I have him as my #1 linebacker in this year's class, because in today's NFL, you got to be a 3-down back. Let's now go to Nakobe Dean out of Georgia. You probably fell in love with him. He might not be the best at recognizing that he's got an Alabama hat on after they won the title, but you know what? His in-game awareness, that's what you're looking for, and it's pretty legit. He's a leader on defense, and I like leaders, especially in the first round. When he's in that huddle, guys in Georgia, they're looking to him. His sideline-to-sideline ability is very, very special, and honestly, one of the best tacklers in the country. In terms of this linebacking comparison, you got Dean, you got Devin Lloyd. Dean, 72 tackles compared to Lloyd's 111. Sacks, advantage Lloyd. Pass breakups, the same. INTs, that's one of the biggest things that Lloyd's able to do, and then force fumbles. Now, I get it. Utah doesn't play near the competition that Georgia does. I do think Dean is a solid linebacker, probably your 1B, but I personally am going to go with Devin Lloyd. So I'm going to go ahead and type my DL. If you want to go ahead and take Nakobe Dean, you can type ND. I don't really know if you can go wrong necessarily, but the versatility of Lloyd is why I have him as the #1 linebacker. It's time now to look at the safety position, and realistically, there is only one safety that I would take at pick number 12, and unfortunately, I would be absolutely shocked if he fell to 12. Now, the only reason why he might fall that far is because he hasn't played since he suffered a right knee injury back on October 23rd. He's just one of the most versatile defenders in the entire country. It doesn't matter what the position is. Kyle Hamilton, safety out of Notre Dame. I actually think he's a top 5 pick. I've seen him on #1 on some people's draft boards before. Last Mel Kiper big board he had out was at #2. Really, really good player. Unfortunately, don't think he's going to be available at number 12, but I at least wanted to put him on here because dude's a stud. Now, if you made it this far in today's video, know that we're going to do our best to keep you up to date. Do everything we possibly can to give you guys solid content to make sure you never miss anything. Go ahead, subscribe, and if you like more draft videos, smash that like button.